Hey. Here we are at the Scorched Earth podcast, the sports division. Yeah. We're going. We're putting out that content, huh? Please. If you like the sports, if you like the betting angles, we're going to have some Daytona this weekend. Big race on Sunday. I'm going to wait till we see a little more of where the qualifying went. I'll probably do that on Saturday. Probably have it up for Sunday. And away we go. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think. I'll answer them on the air. Headlines in the news today. Kind of a slow day. We're getting ready for the All-Star game. You know, these leagues, the NFL and the NBA and even the NHL to a lesser degree, really didn't figure out the All-Star game. They keep thinking they can do it like baseball, and baseball has it down. It is actually a real thing. And because you just can't play baseball. I mean, it's got to be all the way. And the other guys, they don't want to get injured. I mean, there's just too much at risk. I mean, can you imagine if Giannis or Luka or somebody blew out their knee playing, going 80% at the All-Star game? Oh, my God. There'd be a riot. In football, oh, my gosh, there's just no way I'm going to spend my entire offseason rehabbing. Yeah, right. Blow me. Yeah, not going to happen. Talking about football, the biggest headline was the Jets split from Aaron Rodgers. I think we saw that coming. They didn't get to the playoffs in either one of his years. One year he basically just played 4 plays, and then that was it. This year, lackadaisical at best. Everybody was on the hype train. I understand it. They were a competitive team even without him. I think most people logically thought he was going to be putting him over the edge. I just think this guy is a cancer. I think there is something really wrong in the water there. I mean, he's the guy at the end of not this current year, but the year before saying, hey, everybody needs to be all in. And then when they got mandatory minicamp, he heads over to Egypt. Like you didn't know about that 6 months in advance. Yeah, okay. Aaron's all about Aaron. He doesn't really care anything. And at the end of the day, like I've talked about before, when you're super talented, you get to strike the agenda. I watch TNT and I watch Shaq. And if you listen to the way Shaq talks, this dude was in the gym. He was all about winning. Man, I lived in L.A. for a big part of his career. That dude just showed up at the game. He produced. Okay, he did produce. But outside the walls, that's where him and Kobe butted heads, because Kobe was all about preparing every day for it to be the best I can during the game. Shaq wasn't. That's why his last couple years were so bloody terrible, because the guy just didn't care. And to me, I'm really going to go out on a limb here, but man, what the hell? It's a slow sports day. That's why LeBron is the greatest of all time versus Michael Jordan, because he kept honing his craft. He never gave up developing his body, developing his skill set. Now you're going to sit there and go, hey, Michael was Michael. Well, if you watch The Last Dance and stuff, I mean, this guy's going to Atlantic City. We hear the legendary stories about how he golfed 18, 36, 54 holes, drank beer all day, and then went out and put 40. Okay, amen, man. Numbers are numbers. I'm not going to argue. But at the end of the day, isn't that why we got the Washington Wizards guy? I mean, LeBron, 20 years in the league, man, this guy is putting up stellar numbers. Still, he is the all-time leader in points. I do agree that for that 12, 15-year run, give or take, whatever we're going to call it, Michael Jordan was amazing. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, he was. But the end of his career, I mean, if you're going to say the greatest of all time, you need to say for your entire career, okay? Look, Grant Hill had 4 or 5 good years. Tracy McGrady had 4 or 5 good years. Are they the greatest of all time? No. I do think Kobe is right there, okay? That guy put everything. He was like LeBron, okay? This is really good. I don't think he was as talented. And what's that saying? I mean, I'm saying LeBron's the most talented basketball player who ever lived. I'm going to say Kobe was number 3 behind LeBron, Michael tied for one. The only difference was how much dedication they put into their craft. And Kobe, who was, the amount of talent there was just insane, and the work ethic was insane. I don't know. Did he work harder than LeBron? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe in that prep for the Olympics in Vegas, where LeBron was coming in from the clubs at 5 o'clock in the morning and he saw Kobe in the lobby going out to train. Maybe it changed everything. I think that was the '08 Olympics. LeBron's there. Michael was just a stone cold killer. At the end of the day, it's like when you talk about who's the greatest boxer of all time, potato. Really, they're all right there. You put the gun to my head, I'm going to say LeBron every day and twice on Sunday. But I digress. Juju Watkins, the superstar for USC, smoked UCLA. Took them down 71-60. It was a home game for USC. I don't really think it was as big of an upset as it's being portrayed in the media. But it was a hell of a win. She is a stud. Brady and Matthew Tkachuk, 6-1, led the United States to a 6-1 hockey victory over Finland. And I watched that game. You look at 6-1 and you go, wow, that was an ass whooping. I'm telling you, that game was close. The first two periods, man, they were right in it. And I was thinking to myself, man, I should have took Finland. I could have got them. There was a point there where I could have got them in like 7-1. And I was thinking, wow. But I will say that the USA had a lot of really good chances to just hit off the post. It was just there. And then the third period came and, man, Finland just wasn't ready for what the U.S. brought. The U.S. is supremely talented. There is no doubt. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they play Canada. We shall see. Woody Johnson, after Aaron Rodgers and the Jets went their separate ways, he had a really interesting statement. He says, from day one, he embodied all that it meant to be a New York Jet. Yeah, he did. He did it half-assed, just like you do as an owner. Really, the only way the team ever came back is when you were ambassador to Great Britain under the first Trump administration, and then you couldn't F everything up. I feel bad for the Jet fan. I'm a Dolphin fan. At the end of the day, the Jet fans, they're just crying there. They're praying they can get to where the New York Giants are. Not as long as Woody owns. And then, you're handing it off to his young kid. Oh, man. And he's using Madden ratings to figure out if he's going to trade for players. Yeah, good luck with that. Travis Hunter, the Heisman winner. He can only compete at one position at the combine, according to the NFL. And that's going to be its defensive back. I did see an interesting tidbit on CBS, and that was about some of these superstar freshmen, wide receiver for Ohio State, name escapes me at the moment. Also the gentleman down there in Alabama, the wide receiver. Why don't they challenge the NFL draft? The NFL draft is an agreement between the players union and the NFL, but these players in college aren't in the NFLPA. I just don't understand. Why don't they do a Maurice Claret and just challenge it? And I'm telling you, that receiver at Ohio State is going to be a top 12 pick. They talk about, well, he's got disability insurance. That's not going to pay you. Get to your second contract as quick as you can. If you've got the talent, they're going to put up with you. They are. Forget the billionaire boys club. But that's where we're at. Marcus Stroman hasn't showed up at Yankee camp. Now, technically, he has until February 22nd, but he actually lives in that town, and he still hasn't showed up. And Aaron Boone said it was kind of an awkward situation, him not being there, but it was going to be okay. I know they're looking for stories. Also, in case you need an update, on Tuesday, Vlad Guerrero Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays has given a Tuesday deadline, February 18th, for the team to either re-sign him or he's going to become a free agent at the end of the year. I'm telling you, I looked at that guy's numbers last year. They were just off the charts. I did not realize he was that good. Does that make him I was looking to bet Toronto over their over-under for wins at 78.5. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, if they don't sign him, they're going to trade him. I mean, they got to get something at the trade deadline, don't they? And also for Dante Bichette, even though he had a bad year last year, they got to get something. You just can't let the guy walk out for draft picks. Toronto, man, they seem to do it right. I do think Toronto, we're going to have this probably next week or the week after, the win totals. I got a lot of props from Vegas. Me and brother Brian, or I'm going to at least go over them every day and tell you what I like and what I don't like. But I was really liking the Toronto over for wins because I know they have the best starting 5 pitchers in the American League. The Yankees have a good staff, don't get me wrong. But they are solid. Cleveland is always somehow pulls a rabbit out of its hat with the starting staff. I think Kansas City is going to take a step backwards. But honestly, Toronto, if you put that staff with Baltimore, that would probably be your American League champion. With the 8 other position players with Baltimore. But unfortunately, Baltimore is run by a bunch of incoms, and that's why they're the Orioles. Good luck. All right, and finally, we'll get to the Genesis Open. Denny McCarthy leads. Scotty Scheffler's in the mix. I watched a couple hours of that today. Man, that was a brutal day. 4 under was an amazing score. I really like my bet that the winner will be 9 under or more. They're already at 4 under. The course is going to get a little easier in the preceding days as it dries out. Man, they had some wind. They had some rain today. Like I told you, the Poiana greens were incredibly receptive with the rain. That moisture is still going to be in the greens, and when it dries out, they're not going to have to deal with the wind as much. I think you're looking at a winning score of 12, 13 under pretty easily. There's just anybody. Morikawa's 1 over. Rory McIlroy's 1 over. I think anybody who's 3 over legitimately has a shot. Now, granted, you just can't look at the 5 or 6 strokes. That's the difference. It's how many players are there. Because, yeah, you can get hot, but if you've got 10 players between you and number 1, after round 1, it's still feasible. But if you're talking after the 3rd round, the problem is these guys are so good. There's 1 or 2 of those guys between you and the top is going to get hot too. They're not all going to tank. It's not going to be like a couple years ago where Brandt Snedeker, literally, that might have been the best round I've ever seen on a golf course. He shot 3 under on a Sunday to win that tournament at Torrey Pines. And, man, I think the average score that day was 77. That guy was just lights out, man. It was, I think, Brent Snedeker's last win. I was looking at some of the revised odds. Scheffler's 3-1. Denny McCarthy is like 8-1. It's first round. We'll see. I don't think most people think Denny McCarthy is going to win this field. There's just too much talent there. But we shall see. I will keep you updated tomorrow. Okay, if you could, please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave your comments in the comment section, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.